Greetings and welcome everyone to Streets of Rage on the Sega Genesis. Original debuted in 1991, a time when the city was happy, peaceful, until one day the government took over.
The city has become a center of violence and crime where no one is safe. And amid this turmoil, a group of determined young police officers has shown to clean up the city. Among them are Adam Hunter, Axel Stone, and Blaze Fielding. Her last name is Fielding? They're willing to risk anything, even their lives, on the streets of rage.
On the streets of rage. I have been looking forward to playing this game for quite some time because this recording is very special. This is the second and only the second time I've ever beaten Streets of Rage 1, and both times I had my brother with me as my partner in crime.
Why are they all ex-cops?
Because the police force has been infiltrated by a powerful secret criminal organization, and these are the only three who resisted its influence. Yuzo Koshiro is going to return to the composition forefront with Streets of Rage 4, which has been announced but frequently delayed for this year, but we do look forward to seeing it by Christmas. Streets of Rage is one of the classic beat-em-ups that you've heard about, seen about, and now about to see in HD, punching each other with stupid friendly fire and over-the-top police hand-canned specials. Your objective is to beat everybody on the screen, their asses and their face, with punches, kicks, combos, grabs, throws, and of course, police brutality.
Hey, you don't have any save scores yet.
No, those are save scores. Okay, so what we just saw was after we had beaten the game. So Mike and I are going to take the controls now. He's going to be Axel. I'm going to be Adam. I believe was how we did Streets of Rage 1. What happens in this game is throws are very good, kicks are essential, and of course, stun locking is Axel's specialty, which is why at least one of us will have to be the man with the do.
So, if we're no longer members of the police force, why is there special still summon a police cannoneer?
Okay, so not everybody has been corrupted by the syndicate. So we have a total of 4 people who decided that they wanted to work honestly with their lives.
So that's why Axel is so good? Is it Adam? Is it Adam? No, it's Axel. Okay, Adam's the black guy, right?
Adam's the black guy.
Okay, so the reason why Axel is good is because his single punch does actually a relatively long stun, and you can chain that up on moves.
All of the attacks have a relatively long stun, but what's critical to stun locking is the speed at which you can punch without going into a combo. If you go into a combo, every combo ends with a knockdown attack. The knockdown attack will cause your opponent to get flung away to a distance where you are unable to whoop their ass. At that point, you have to reconnect in order to get that boot on the keister.
Back in the days when microprocessing was, still incredibly jarring.
Jarring?
Yes, jarring.
I think it's just fine. You just have to. It's not terribly exciting. We got some neon light effects. We got dudes spawning from the side of the screen, which you can't see them jump in.
But if dudes die on screen, it takes a little while for them for it to fully register. Okay. Now, I have a little bit of experience with the Streets of Rage franchise, specifically this game. As you wanted to bring up before we started, we actually did Streets of Rage. Yeah, we were doing Streets of Rage 1 for the Random Podcast of Awesomeness like 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah, the Random Podcast of Awesomeness. It's alright if you guys have never heard of it. We would have never heard of it either if we weren't the ones who done it. But we did do we did do like a 45-minute podcast on Streets of Rage 1 specifically, with some effect.
But yeah, whenever I was at the Chuck E. Cheese arcade, the beat 'em up that I actually gravitated to was the TMNT one, as opposed to I don't even think I saw Streets of Rage in the arcades actually. But for beat 'em ups, I would always prefer to go for TMNT over Streets of Rage.
And that's fine. I enjoyed that. Well, I suppose Mortal Kombat would have been a good parallel for this game, except that in Mortal Kombat you're facing an opponent, just one opponent with a health bar. In this game, you're fighting lots of opponents with invisible health bars. But the point I drive at is that the fighting axis in Mortal Kombat is just straight X on X. In Streets of Rage, as most players are wont to exploit immediately, is that the Z-axis, not the Y-axis, because you can jump in this game. That's the jumping axis is the Y-axis. Your movement axis up and down the screen is called the Z-axis. That's the one you're going to use to exploit your opponent, like these fools. This is the boss. This is the boss that teaches you how to boss. They're big. They're mean. They got lots of health. But you can totally just grab these guys over and over again, and they're completely helpless.
Although I would argue that doing the infinite stun lock punch is actually a better use of your time.
Well, in all the times that Mike and I had played this game, Axel really is the only one who can competently stun lock enemies. That's been true in Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, is that Axel is the dude who can stun lock. However, stun locking is ineffective in a situation where you can get hit from behind.
Right.
Which
is why playing this in multiplayer is most certainly recommended. That way your partner can take on the other enemies or bosses that are on screen.
Teamwork is essential, of course.
Now, are the two of you able to actually hurt each other? I know that you can get into hit stun, but I don't know if that actually does damage.
It does do damage.
Okay.
Streets of Rage 1, you deal the lowest amount of damage to your teammate when you hit them. Now, people may be wondering, well, why can't I hit my teammate? That's weird to me. Why would there be any reason at all why we would be able to hit each other? It seems like a general inconvenience and a game nuisance. No, it's because at the end of the game, without changing the game mechanics at all, you have the option to join the Syndicate, of course, because that's how the Syndicate came into power, is basically just asking people to join them. If one player says yes and the other player says no, then you have to duel to the death.
It's the Double Dragon ending.
And that finally is why you can inflict damage to your teammate throughout the game. It also teaches you just to plain be careful. No throwing people. No, try not to drop kick people while you're going across the screen and your buddy's on the same Z-axis as you are. So what you will see frequently, Fists of Doom, for one thing. That's the dude with the sweet haircut coming out of nowhere to punch you in the face. That will happen throughout the game. You also see Mike and I occupying different lanes, the horizontal lanes to be more specific. Adam, who is me, will usually be on the top, and Axel, who is Mike, will usually be on the bottom. We do this because of, again, friendly fire. You don't want to hit your teammate. You want to have the zones clearly designated. We have to say them out loud because we're standing 2 feet apart the whole time we're playing this game. So just say, I'm going to be over here, so you don't come into my way, fist.
And we just saw that the two of you picked up a 1-up.
Yay. There are very few 1-up drops in the lower difficulty of Streets of Rage 1. So for the first half of this whole playthrough of Streets of Rage 1, we're going to be playing through the game 2 times. The first time will be on the minimum difficulty, and this is a recording feat in itself because this is actually before we learn that you can resist fall damage by holding the up and A button on your controller when in the event when an enemy throws you. We have yet to even learn this, so this is how early it is. This is only the second time that Mike and I have actually beaten this game. The last time we beat this game was 20 goddamn years ago, and we didn't remember how we did it. So this time, we are actually learning shit. The second half of the playthrough will be the hardest mode difficulty. And in hardest mode, the game actually supplies you not only with an extra continue, but also with more health drops and 1-up drops throughout the game.
So how do they actually expect you to deal with the jugglers in this case?
They don't. That's why they took out jugglers. Jugglers suck. Jugglers are annoying. The Fists of Doom. Always be ready for the Fist of Doom.
All right. So the martial arts stereotype enemy. What's so special about him?
He has good control of the X-axis. The AI in this game has one of two specialties. They could be good if they're strong on the X. That means that they have long-reaching attacks that will generally overwhelm you even if you're attacking at the same time. Other enemies have competency on the Z-axis. They're more prone to throwing, and they're also very quick. But you're also supposed to attack these guys on the X because where they're strong on the Z, they're probably weak on the X, and vice versa.
All right. It looks as though jugglers are actually relatively weak to ascending jump kicks.
Jump kicks are good because jump kicks allow you to repel those whatever the hell he's holding. You see how much slowdown happens when you kick through the juggler's axes. It is a ridiculously designed character, and I'm glad that he did not make appearances in subsequent Streets of Rage games.
So is there any particular reason why you guys chose to play as Adam instead of Blaze?
Why did Mike and I choose to play as Axel and Adam? I wanted to play as Adam out of sheer curiosity. I never really played as him, but I began to appreciate that his jump kick is really long-reaching, as well as I think his leg might even be a little longer, or it might just be my imagination. Oh yeah, and just throw these guys repeatedly, they're annoying. Blaze, on the other hand, her attacks are not that strong, so we wanted to use characters who deal lots of damage all the time.
Alright then. And in the next episode, we'll be going into round 3.
Round 3. See you next time.